Right, let me know if we're live. I have no idea if we're actually streaming or not. So, hopefully, hello everyone. I'm just getting everything set up. Somebody please tell me if this is working. We getting a picture? Are we getting sound? Speak to me, peeps. I can't seem to check on here. Do-do-do. Come on, YouTubes. Ooh, I'm live. Hooray. Right, I can close that browser down. Hey everyone, it's Foxx Model Making Guru here. Hello, hello, hello. I've got loads of decals to do on this Eagle, so I thought I may as well do some streamage while I'm doing it. It's not going to be very exciting, but hey, it's something to watch. Who have we got in? We have Chris at Gross Models, Jeff Longman, hey guys, King of Hearts 00, Alex Cattell, hey Alex, Danny Mates, cool, Robert Beard, hey, I'm just trying to get my chat up on my iPad. Lilith Goldston, Scott Sutherland, hi Fox, hey. There you go, Scott. Right, now I have to have the chat kind of zoomed in, so I can't reply by text. So, and it's hopefully going to move really fast, because hopefully we'll get millions of viewers. I doubt it. It's just a bit of fun. So anyway, yes, I am in the middle of doing all the decals für dem Eagle Transporter gefahren. And I realised I've run out of cotton buds, so I've got to use the ones I've got. I think I've got like 3 left. 2 left. Brilliant. Brilliant. So that's all my cotton buds in the world, because I couldn't be bothered going to the shop this morning. So, got all the decals on all the ones. I'm going off you'll see this in episode 8 when it comes up in a few days, but I've started doing the decals. There's 2 sets. There is the bog standard decals that come with the regular kit, and they are all marked out on the sides of the box. So what I've had to do is basically, if I can get it, cut the sides of the box off, which is a right pain in the arse. And then there's all the extra decals that come with the special edition of this kit, which is this one. And these are all marked out on this sleeve that goes around the box. I'm working my way, and these are all the little coloured panels. Excuse me. I need to clear my throat. These are all the little sort of shaded panels that save me having to mask everything off, like these things and all these bits on the side. So this is what I'm doing. I've done all the ones that this shows, so now I can go ahead and just make some stuff up and add more panelling. So that's all I'm really doing. Hopefully, to keep things going, I'll rely on you horribly to ask lots of questions in the chat. Otherwise, this will be a really, really boring live stream. I'll probably go for an hour or 2. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you can see here I've got lots of little squares and rectangles to put on, so I can just make stuff up now. So let's have a look, see what we can make up. So how is everyone? How are you all? I'm fine. Just a reminder, we're doing a density live stream tonight, myself, Chris and Paul. We've both done 2 characters, our main and 1 alt, and we built a 3rd character, a 3rd alt, and we're going to level that up through the storyline tonight, so that'll be at 8:30 tonight on this channel, but we'll post the link up because it'll be it'll be on Twitch. What am I talking about? It'll be on Twitch, not on YouTube. So I was thinking about live streams, and I thought, I'll live stream this while I'm here, I may as well. So let's make some shizzle up. Let's have a look and see what we can do. I need my other glasses so I can see what I'm doing. I need my space helmet of seeing. Chris says, are they all just extra? These things, yeah, these are all it just gives you like a whole mess of gives you all the ones that are marked out on here. It just gives you a big block of all these squares and things. There's tons of them, and there's loads that the special edition kit, or the decals, it's just a big sheet with loads and loads and loads of extra decals all over it, so you can put all the symbols you want on there, little markings and things, dots and lines. It's kind of cool. The Triple says, resting from a pub tour yesterday with a cup of tea. Yeah, so you're a little bit spiky this morning, were you? Were you like, on the outside you're all soft and squishy, but on the inside you were just a giant spike? I know that feeling. Alex says, if you don't get questioned, you can play tic-tac-toe with the bits and bobs. I could do. I'd probably still lose. How's my audio, by the way? Is it coming through okay? Am I loud enough for you? Too quiet? I've got my spanky mic on the go, so hopefully that's coming through okay. I'll just adjust it. That's hopefully okay. 10 AM on a weekend. Glad. I don't know why I'm awake, but I'm glad I was. I'll tell you what lately. I'm not going to get anything done today. I'm just going to talk to you all for the next 2 hours. I've had this thing lately where every now and then I'll have an interesting dream. You know, it'll be fun or it'll be funny or whatever, but lately I've been having a lot of, like, either really, really boring dreams. Like, I'm in a car and I can't quite get the gas pedal to work. And that's like, you know, all night. And then I'll wake up and I'll be like, well, that was a waste. Or, I don't know if you guys get this, but it's the thing where I'll have a dream and there'll be something happening in the dream. And then I'll kind of wake up and I'll be half awake before I go back to sleep again, you know, in the middle of the night. And my brain will be ticking over, questioning whatever happened in the dream incessantly, and it'll keep me awake for like an hour. And it's like, I just need my brain to turn off. Plastic AA says, I can hear you fine, but I can't see you. Is anybody having problems with the picture? One thing I do know, if you're on Chrome and you've got any extensions that stop HTML5 video playback, automatic playback on YouTube, make sure to turn those off. Is anybody having a problem with the image, or am I visually coming through fine? Let me know, because I need to know if it's me or just Plastic AA, which sounds really horrible, but I hope it's not me. I don't mean that in a bad way, dude. Right, where's my tweezers? Where's my tweezers of happiness? That's a Sharpie there. I'm missing a pair of tweezers. This whole thing's just fallen apart straight away, hasn't it? We've not even got started. There they are, right in front of me. I can see fine. Danny Mate says, still got to build the Strike Freedom Gundam later today. Is that Master Grade, HG, or Perfect Grade, or the No Grade 1/60th scale? I have a No Grade 1/60th scale, which I might do once. Once this is done. Because as soon as this is done... Oh, cool, I'm fine now, apparently, on the visuals. Once this is done, I need to get back on with some Gunpla. If not for any other reason, then all my videos get really good viewing figures when they're Gunpla. And when it's not Gunpla, they kind of drop off a bit. So I'm like, yeah, I need to get back doing the Gunpla. Plus, loads of people have asked. So I might do. I'm debating whether to do the Mega Size Unicorn, or I need to do my 1/60 scale No Grade Freedom Gundam, which I was going to do as a Shining Freedom Gundam, so I can do it all metallic. So I don't know yet. Right, I need to get these decals. Let's get some work done, shall we, rather than just waffle for 20 minutes. So I need to get this out of the way. What have we got here? So we're just going to do some random shapage. Now, for these decals, if you do... Chris says do a tiny tank. HG, cool. Have lots of fun with that one. You don't have to worry about the build so much. You could just crack on with the painting and weathering. With these decals, I've figured out, because you know me, normally I use this to take the decal off the backing paper and then apply it and then use the micro salt to bed it down. These decals, the cartograph ones, the special edition ones, are so thin that it just wrinkles them up on the paper, and if they wrinkle up and they fold up, they're impossible to unfold. They're just, like a normal decal folds up, you can put it in your bowl of water and it'll flatten out again, you can pick it out. These ones, you can't. If they fold over, you're screwed. It's just gone. So these are all the cartograph ones, these little squares and things. The normal decals that come with the kit, they're alright. They're a bit thick and they're very shiny. DeTriple says, this build is pale enough, so not an all-white unicorn. Okay, well then I shall do my Shining Freedom Gundam, which will be all metallic, shiny, chromy silver type. So I'll have to do a gloss black primer coat and then use I'm going to use the C1 Metalizer powder. So we're going to see how that goes. It's the big 1/60 scale Freedom Gundam, but it's the no grade. Yeah, so I can't really use this to take them off the sheet. So what I'm going to do with these is the good old-fashioned bowl o' water. And what I've learned is it's good to do multiples at a time because it saves me a hell of a lot of time. It's taken forever to do these. I've been doing this all week. Not like, 24 hours a day, but I've been doing other stuff. But I've been doing them all week. I've got all the foot pods done apart from some of the little symbols. Chris says pink Gundam. Yes, I know. But I've got... The thing with that pink Gundam, Chris, I've got to figure out if Samuel Decal can do decals for it. He might do, but I doubt it. Because it's... I might have to ask him to make some, maybe. Yeah, so I've got the pods done, the foot pods, apart from some of the little symbols. I've got all the ones on here done now. I've still got all the stripes to do on the spine and that part of it. So it's taking forever. It's taking forever. Right, are we in shot? Yes. Now, what I need to do... it is warm water, by the way, Alex. Alright, are we doing? Yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do is just make some shizzle up, basically. Now, a lot of this will be hidden by the spine. But I don't know if it'll come out of camera, but these things are so transparent. They're almost clear. They're almost clear. And you get a sort of medium grey, which is this one. You get these ones, which are light grey, which is basically just almost like a piece of clear film painted with Tamiya smoke. And that's about it. And then you get the blue ones. But they're so delicate. They're not delicate that you're going to rip them. They're just delicate that if they do fold up, you are totally, totally screwed. Okay, that's that one. But the other thing is, of course, if you do put them over each other, because they're kind of translucent, you can get like interesting colour mixes, like different shades. So if I put this blue one over the dark grey and the other one, it just makes a nice little shade. Okay, so that to flatten down. So I'll get this one down pat first. Oh, TK's in, hey! TK says, just a few decals take a week. Pfft, noob. Yeah, they wouldn't take that long if they weren't so darn fiddly. As in, you really don't want to screw them up. Oh, big hair, thank you. They're not delicate in that you're not going to rip them. You can see I'm using my tweezers to move them around. I'm using this part of my tweezers, by the way, not this part, before people start panicking. But what I'm going to try and do is see if I can... I don't want to take the risk. I'm going to see if I can lift it over the one I've just put down. But I don't think that's going to work. Let's make sure this is straight. There we go. I'll push it up a bit, and you just get this interesting crossover now between the dark grey and the light grey one, the blue one. There we go. Looks pretty good. If you're wondering why I've got a piece of kitchen roll down as well underneath, it's because I don't want to scratch the paint that's on the model by dragging it around the desk. There's a lot of movementing. It doesn't really matter. Get that on there. Squish, squish, squish. Squishing all the air away. Getting little bits of fibre and stuff off the cotton buds. Get off my cotton bud. What have we got next? I will try and keep up with the chat. It's quite hard. While I'm actually doing something. But I will do my best to keep up with the chat. Raging Basis says, are you almost done with the decals of plenty? No, well, I've still got all... See, that's folded, that one. I've still got all the stripes to do on the spine. I've done the command module. These are just extra ones I'm putting on because of the reasons. So I reckon I can get the ones on the spine done in a few hours. That should be alright. See how it just gives you a different... Let me squish it down first, and then I'll point at it with my big fat finger. Hang on, hang on. Squish, squish. So you see there, I've got two of the light. I've got a dark grey one and a light grey one. But where they cross over, because they're sort of semi-translucent, you get a nice kind of even darker grey square. It just adds to the variation. I feel like I'm putting on digital camo. Let's put my tweezers. A little square. It will go... Where shall I put it? It will go It will go there. I think that's fair. I'm not a bear. I don't know where I'm going with that. I do keep meaning to do some of these live streams, but the difficulty is, if we're doing a live stream, as you well know from other live streams that me and Ted and stuff do, when you're doing them, you tend to not get much done. You can't do anything too complicated, because if you do something too complicated, you're just going to ignore the chat constantly and not do any chatting. So you want to do something that's kind of like easy to do and waffle at the same time, like decals. So of course the thing there is I need to be doing decals. So I will try and do more of these live streams, but it's just when I'm doing something that's actually worth streaming or feasible to stream. Ooh, get off my finger. Feasible to stream. A bit of water. So what we're doing in the chat. Are you not sticking those sides on first? Says Chris. No. There's a very good reason for that. And when I've thought of it, I'll tell you what it is. No, they've got... well, let me just stick this decal down. Hang on. I've got clear parts for the little windows. But I'm going to do them... I'm not going to... On the filming model, they're actually just black. So what I'm going to do is... I need to get them all painted up. I don't want to be doing any masking on them, so what I'll do is I'll get all these decaled and weathered and painted, and then I'll paint the clear parts for the windows separately, and then at the very end I'll just glue them in and glue this in. The reason I want to do that is I'm not actually going to paint them, I'm just going to primer them in, I'll probably use the Citadel rattle can because it's a nice satin black. Ooh, micro set, there's that smell. So I'll probably just rattle can them with the Citadel primer, and then just glue them in, basically. So, and that'll give this nice satin finish. So I need to do that after I've obviously matte varnished the rest of the ship, or the rest of this module. So I'm leaving them to the very end. I know it will leave me with some sort of seam lines around the edge of this roof parts, but I can live with that. I can live with that, it's not a big problem, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Do. How many high grades should I build before I get into master grade, says Danny Mates. Theoretically none. You can go straight into master grade if you want. You can go straight to perfect grade if you want. There's a lot of perception that the different grades give you different difficulties. That, you know, master grades are harder than high grades, that perfect grades are harder than master grades, and so on and so. God, it smells like vinegar and feet, that stuff. Whew. Microset, your friend of mine. But to be honest, that's nonsense. A perfect grade is no more complicated than a high grade in terms of the physical process of building it. It's just there are a lot more parts. That's it. If you can build a high grade, you can build a perfect grade. There's just a billion more parts. So you don't have to build high grades before you do a next grade up. You can do whatever you want. So if you're thinking about it, if there's a master grade kit that you really fancy, just go and get it and build it. And start with the perfect grade. Like I said, the beauty with Bandai is you can't really screw them up. Just follow the instructions, and if something does go wrong and you get something the right way around, just take it all back apart again. Dynamite says, yeah, I want to get into them, I just don't want to get stuck. You won't get stuck. The beauty of Bandai Gunpla, the different grades, I'm not sure about perfect grades, I've only built one, but with master grades, once you've built one master grade, they're all kind of the same, so more or less. So once you've built a leg, you've kind of built every master grade leg. Once you've built an arm, they're all kind of very similar, for the most part. So, yeah, it just takes a little longer. I mean, if you just snap in a master grade together, you can do it in well, I was going to say a day. The physical build would take you maybe half a day. What takes a while is just getting all the nubs off. That's the bit that takes a while. So don't be blinded by this myth that master grades are somehow the next step up in awesome model building skill. They're not. They're exactly the same in terms of skill level. as high grades. They're just more parts. That's all it is. More parts and smaller parts. And same with real grade. Real grade are just as complex, as difficult as a high grade. They're just like a billion more parts, and they're a trillion times smaller. Where do I want this one to go? I want this one to go. Oh, decisions. What have we got in the questions? Let's have a look. Jordan Nash says go straight to mechanical. I don't actually know what mechanical is. Mark Pierce says, hi Fox, are you sure the observation module, or whatever it is called, it's not the prehistoric Airfix Marley prefabricated garage kit? You're too young to remember that kit. Dude, I'm 46. I remember dinosaurs and things. I remember Airfix's pontoon bridge set. How far back is that? But I see what you mean. It looks like some kind of Anderson shelter, doesn't it? It's kind of cool. It does look like a sort of 1960s prefab school. Well, when I was at primary school, we used to have these like sort of prefab buildings in the school grounds. They were called demountables. A stupid name. Demountables. So it kind of reminds me of those. But I know what you mean. It's like a little house. It's like a space house for space people. King of Hearts says the only jump in difficulty is real grade if you're not good with tiny parts. Yeah, that's it really. Real grade are like kind of master grades merged with perfect grades. They're just really, really small parts. So that's the real trick with real grades, is they're just fiddly as ass, basically. Ooh, that looks a bit rubbish, that, actually. I might have to do something in the middle. I don't want to get too complex, but I don't want to get not too complex. Scott Sutherland says, did you order the Zaku shirt, Fox? Yeah, of course I did. You know I did. It's required. It's the law. So that should arrive. Well, I don't know where it's coming. I don't even know where it's coming from. I just saw that Zaku shirt and I'm like, I went to the website and went, here's my money. Here's all my super secret PayPal details. No idea who I'm giving money to or where they are or whether it's a good idea. I just did it. So it could be coming from, like, you know, China or Korea or space, or I don't know where it's coming from. So it should be with me soon. You'll see it on a live stream. Probably the E-Models live stream. Danny Mate says, wow, cool, never thought about that. One more question. Do you have any recommendations on getting rid of those white spots and scratches after you sand the nubs? Yeah. Yeah. Nubs. The trick is, when you take it off the sprue, let's put that there, let's do a bit of crossover. When you take it off the sprue, leave a little bit of the tree on the piece. Don't cut it right against the piece, because those white marks are just stress marks. The plastic is stressed. So leave a couple of millimeters on the piece itself. Then shave it very gently with your hopefully sharp modelling knife, craft knife. I think I probably showed it in some of my Gunpla builds. So when you've finished watching this, on my channel, just go to my playlists and look up, I would say probably the Freedom Gundam build might have that bit, and I talk about nubs, because we all do nubs. Shave it away, don't gouge it, shave it with your knife, gently, and then, when it comes to sanding, just use like I tend to use like a medium. I can't give you the grits because they don't have grits written on them, but I use sort of a medium grit sanding stick and then a finer grit. If you're not painting, it doesn't matter. Just get it smooth. It doesn't matter if there's a white bit of stress mark on there. It doesn't actually matter. If you are painting, wait, no, sorry, let's do that again. If you are painting, it doesn't matter, because all you want it to be is smooth. If you're not painting, that's when you want to try and get it back looking like plastic. You want to start off with a medium grit, and then a finer grit, and then a finer grit again, and keep going finer and finer till you're basically using a polishing. I'll show you some sticks in a minute. A polishing and buffing stick, and that's how you get it back. The downside with the Bandai plastics is things like black and blue plastic. they're a nightmare for the nub marks. Let me see if I can get some sticks out. I can show you the Ultimate Modelling Product sticks, because they're the ones I use quite often. But Phil Flory Models, he does polishing sticks as well and buffing sticks, and they're all kind of the same. I tend to sand with, if you're using Ultimate sticks, this one, which is a bit rough, that's for getting rid of the big bits. That will then scratch your surface to hell. So you need to go over with something squishy, like that one, which is finer, and will then, basically it will sand away all the marks left by this, and smooth them out, but it will leave marks of its own. Then I go in with a Flory. I've actually got the Flory one. It's a polishing and buffing, so I'll go in with this side first, which is smooth, but not as smooth as this one. And that just smooths out the marks from this. And then last but not least, the polishing side, which is a bit dirty now. Polishing side, which just gets that nice shine back to the plastic. If you're not painting your Gunpla, then yeah, nub marks and sanding is a right ball ache. That's why I recommend, if you're going to do it, paint your Gunpla. Ooh, I've sprinkled the decal. Dudes, that's all gone wrong. What's happened there? How did that get scrunched? Das ist nicht richtig. See if we can recover this. Oh, it's gone wrinkled. Tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to scrap that one. Because I know these decals now, once you get a wrinkle in them, you just forget it, it's game over. Abandoned. Yeah, as Chris says, sand with a more finer grade than finer. Jordan Nash, if I want to send a mystery Patreon package to you, like from a Tokyo trip, how would I go about that? Oh, thank you very much. Pop me a message on the Facebooks, to either if you're to the Guru page, just send me a message on there, or if you're one of my friends on Facebook, send me a message on there. But more likely, you'll be following me on Facebook. I think you are following me on Facebook, or send me a message on Patreon, and I will give you my address. I do worry about that sometimes, you know, like giving people my address and stuff. But you're all cool guys. I looked into getting a PO box. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not happening anytime soon, ever. Let's do a shape. What shape have we got? Let's do... I need to replace that one. The Gyara kit videos have great part on dedubbing. Oh, there you go, King of Hearts. So there you go. The Gyara Zulu build. It's an absolute beginner's build. In fact, you might quite like that. If you're not doing a painting job, it's quite a good little thing, because it shows you how to get a really cool looking Gunpla without actually using any painting, other than a little bit of weathering here and there. So give that a try, because then you might be able to take your builds to the next level. Modify. What's the chat doing? Chris says, send it to me, I'll do quality control. No, don't send it to Chris, because he'll do quality control with his mouth. It doesn't even matter if it's food or not, he'll eat it. Just built an Impulse Gundam, which is a maroon colour, had barely any nub marks. Yeah, the best plastic for being super forgiving is white. You can hack away with that with your sanding, with your, you know, your sanding and everything, and it just looks gorgeous no matter what. But it's basically stress marks. So on the white plastic, there are still stress marks. You just can't see them because it's white. Tony Raw says, first time catching you live. You love your tutorials and Gunpla. Thanks for your hard work. My pleasure, Tony. I hope I got your surname right. Raw? Raw. Like a dinosaur. Raw. Excuse me. I think I'm muted now. Did I mute that cough? I've not figured out the mute button on my microphone yet. If I didn't, I apologise for coughing right down your ear holes. For some reason, whenever I do any kind of live streaming, I instantly get a sniffly nose and a cough. It just seems to be the order of things. Let's do some random shapes, and this one doesn't want to come off, you little git. I'm listening to you while I play Friday the 13th. Oh yeah. The unicorn is going to be a breeze denubbing when I get to it. Yeah, I did the master grade unicorn. I never finished it, but I did it. And that was a delight, because it's all white, most of it. It's like, yes, pretty much white plastic all the way through. So, yeah. The only problem with the Unicorn Gundam is I did my master grade, I had the full armour. And apart from the fact I got bored of it, because there was just so much to do. So much. I did all the weapons and stuff, but I got bored with all the decals. It was really kind of like, you get weapon fatigue on Gunpla, where you build everything, brilliant, I've finished it, and then you realise you've still got to do the weapons, and you think, oh fuck, God's sake, I've still got the weapons to do. And I did all that, and I got past all that, but then it was like, I started the weathering. And the Unicorn Gundam is one that kind of doesn't look good when you weather it. It's not really supposed to be weathered. It's white and shiny. So I kind of did some weathering, and it just didn't work for me, and then I kind of got disheartened, and then I just put it back in the box. So I'm thinking at the moment what I might do in some future moment is actually do some kind of giveaway. Either sell it, because it's kind of painted. It was a kind of half paint job. It's kind of half paint, so I might sell it as a half done kit. Or I might just give it away and say, no, you can go finish it. The suit itself is kind of done. The weapons are painted but not weathered. And I didn't build the base jabber. I was looking forward to that as well. This one doesn't want to come off the paper. What's this one being awkward for? Don't be awkward with me. I want you to come off the paper, yeah? Raging bassist, you really didn't mute, idiot. Love you, really. Yeah. Well, I've got this mute button, and it kind of, you press it and the light goes off, so you think it's muted, and then you press it again and it flashes, and it's like, wait, is that muted? Is that not muted? Okay, for some reason this decal is refusing to come off the backing paper. I'm going to abandon that decal because I've given up the will to live with it. There you go. I'm a man of very little patience. Now I'm going to do a funky shape now. We've got one of these things, a couple of these things, if they come out of camera. Little sort of triangle shapes. These are for the pods, but see if I can put one somewhere else. Let's put one on the bottom. I like a nice shape on my bottom. This might not work. So yes, instantly the camera goes on. I get the sniffles. I get the coughs. I don't know why. Rody Hobby Corner. Hey, Rody. Thank you for coming along. Welcome to the tedium of decals. Luckily, I do have my enormous coffee of happiness, which is there. Massive. I made one just before I started. And if I do need to go for a wee at some point, because I probably will do, I actually have a holding picture, which might not work. I don't know yet. In fact, I'll test it now while this decal's setting. Right, folks, tell me, do you get this holding picture? Does this picture change now? Tell me if you get the test card. Did that work? Did you get a test card there for a second? Fortunately, it takes me a while to get your comments. Just take a while for comments to come through. Tell me if you saw the awesome test card of happiness. It's actually the test card of me going for a wee. That's what it is. I'm following TK with a good beer, says Rody. Oh, I want a beer. I'll be honest, I don't really drink that much. Oh yes, good. Apparently the test card works, so jolly good. If I need to go for a wee, I can mute the microphone and turn the picture off. Yeah, I don't drink that much. I really only used to drink when I used to go to pub. Look at that, it joins up with that one perfectly. Oh, there's just a lucky accident. I didn't plan that at all, but this one, little triangle one, just happens to almost... Oh, it's brilliant. Happy accidents are the best. Sweet! Yeah, I used to drink when I go to the pub. But I don't really go out much anymore. Primarily because, you know, I'm usually too busy. It's too expensive nowadays, and a lot of my friends, I've got families and stuff now, so you know, you get to my age and the old hyperactive social life with the drinking and the beer and the pubs a lot of times tends to fade away a little bit, which is fine. You know, you still see your mates, you just don't see them as often, but that's fine. I'm a hermit anyway. Look at that, I'm quite pleased with that. I don't know if it comes out. It kind of joined up quite nicely. Cool. Happy accidents are the best. TK says it's 26 degrees today, so a good beer is mandatory. Yeah, we're supposed to have the back end of a hurricane this week. I think tomorrow and Tuesday. Back end of some hurricane going over the Atlantic. So even though it's like October and it's been raining for the last 2 months and miserable and cold, now it's actually officially autumn. We're going to get some summer weather. So we're going to get like 26 degrees. However, we're also going to get like 3 million mile an hour winds. So it is entirely possible that the next video from me might be one saying, yeah, my entire house blew down and it's going to be a while before I can film again. You never know. As a Yank, the only BBC test card I know is the one from Life on Mars. That's that one that I've just shown basically, but I changed it a little bit. I added my little fox character into the picture. It's the one with the oh no, you're talking about the early one with the scary clown. Yeah, I know the one you mean. The one with the little puppet playing. I'll put it on again. Hang on. This one is kind of classic. Obviously, there's my little fox character there, and there's the clown thing, which is weird. The tic-tac-toe board in the background in the real thing, there isn't actually a winner. So I tweaked it a bit so that my little fox character is kind of accusing him of cheating. I'm an idiot, you know. Beyond Hope. P51 Mustang and Mitsu Zero and finishing off some Citroen Zara rally kits. Cool. I do have to admit admiration for anyone that makes, well, I was going to say cars. Well, not rally cars, maybe. I don't admire them less, but people that actually make shiny sort of civilian cars. I know rally cars, you can do them as shiny, so they're just as impressive. Anybody that makes cars that aren't messy and muddy, basically. I have to admit admiration for people of such skills. Because I don't have those skills. I couldn't do a shiny car. I couldn't do a shiny anything. Let's do some little quarter circles. Where shall I put a little quarter circle? I think under there. For no reason at all, but under there. I think that's what we shall do. This is the fun bit now, because now I'm just making stuff up. Is that going to be wide enough? Can't really tell. Yeah, we'll just stick it on. Stick it on and see what happens. Yeah, people that do shiny cars, because it's just like, I don't know, I couldn't do shiny, because the trick is, and one of the reasons I love doing weathering so much is weathering can hide a multitude of sins. You know, if you've got some slightly shonky edges to your paint, it's not a problem because you're going to do a panel line or a pin wash or a gunk wash that's going to hide all that. And at the end of it, it comes out looking cool. But people that just do nice shiny showroom cars, you've got to be impressed by that. Just do anything shiny. Doing a gloss finish is hard enough. A gloss finish for anything other than just decals. Chris says, shiny bike is quite fun. Shiny bike is quite big. If you don't know, Chris, who is your moderator for the day, and TK, thank you guys. I know they don't need to do anything today because it's just a silly little fun thing, but both have their own channels, so do go and check them out. TK likes building models that he hates, that have 10 million parts and 3 billion decals. He's the Treehouse's crazy Viking. And Chris likes making tiny things apart from an enormous R2-D2 and the world's biggest motorbike. So he kind of broken a bit there. Do go and check out their channels. Ah! Oh, fail. Get off my finger. Well, that went wrong. Teach me trying to get it off my finger. Stupid boy. We'll try again, shall we? Let's try that again. And obviously other people in the chat, for those who don't have channels, other people in the chat have their own channels. Rody Hobby has his channel. I've forgotten who's in chat now. There's a few of you guys in there that have your own channels, so do go and check each other out. And of course, if it's your first time watching one of my things, do like and subscribe to my channel, because I love you. And I will love you even more. Right. I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you the command module if you want. Any questions in the chat? Keep things going, because there's only so much I can talk about when I'm on my own, talking to myself. Do let me know if there's any audio or video issues, by the way. I can't see the YouTube feed, so if anything happens with the video or the audio, I won't know unless you tell me. And I'm sure you will. Just have a quick swig of the coffees. Scott Sutherland says, preparing for the wind here in the already windy north. Oh, God. Hey, Scott, did you know, Porgs, yes, we're going there, Porgs in the new Star Wars movie, do you know what they're based on? Puffins. Because there were puffins on the island where they filmed The Last Jedi. And obviously because puffins are awesome, they said, you know what, we need to make a puffin analogue. So they came up with the Porgs. So Porgs are basically puffins. How cool is that? It needs to be straightened up. I saw the other day actually a video of some toy, Star Wars toy, and it was a little animatronic Porg. And while I actually quite like the Porgs, they do look quite cute and adorable, this toy was just terrifying. It was horrible. It was rubbish. It was all, the fabric was all crinkly and it didn't fit and it just looked awful. I'm like, wow, Jesus, Mattel, or whoever it was. Rhodey says, got some sponsoring and bought the book FAQ Diorama. Great book. Oh, congratulations, Rhodey, on your sponsorshipsness. It's always nice when you get sponsored. Just gives you a little bit of financial happiness, so you can carry on doing what you're doing. On that subject, to pimp myself, some of you already know, but some of you don't know, I do have a Patreon channel. And if you're of a mind to, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. It helps me keep doing what I do, because I do this full time, so I'm more than absolutely grateful for the people that help support me. It keeps me in kits, keeps me in equipment, helps me keep making videos. I know the last few months I haven't made a lot of videos on a regular basis, but it's purely because I've been doing lots of big builds like this that I can't just do a little bit and film it. So hoping to break that mold after a little while, break that habit. But yes, if you'd like to help me keep making videos, do consider going to patreon.com/modelmakingguru and pledge your support. There are various rewards available, and I will be hoping to get some more exclusive content for patrons done soon. Okay, need some blue on that. The problem with making this stuff up is you forget what you've done. Now we'll go back over these with the Micro Sol in a bit. Raging Basis says, I'm unthrilled with the new Star Wars trailer, sadly. Yeah, it didn't do a lot for me either, I must be honest. It was a bit... Luke just looked grumpy. Grumpy AF. What do you think of Red Dwarf 12? Not seen it yet. I was actually on, bizarrely, the UK TV website the other day, or Dave, or wherever it was. I was watching Traffic Cops, and I saw that on there, so I thought, oh, I might have to watch that. I saw the new series that came out, I think, last year or the year before. That was alright, it was quite good. I do like me some Red Dwarf. Go to blue alert. Are you sure, sir? That does mean we'll have to change the bulb. That's a good plan, sir, with one major problem. 1, we don't have a laser cannon, and 2, we don't have a laser cannon. That's the same problem twice. Yes, but I thought it was important enough to mention twice. Or words to that effect. Yeah, I got them wrong, I know. Get Airfix to sponsor you. I would do. The downside to that is I'd have to make Airfix kits. Burn. Get Bandai to sponsor me, I'd be as happy as a pig in muck. It's not going to happen though, is it? Wait, you want to pay me money and give me kits to build that I don't have to think about the build and just paint them? Hello! Ka-ching. Yeah. As you may not know, but as you might know, my current sponsors are remodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Those guys are awesome. I love those guys to bits. They're just idiots like me. They're really cool, but they have that same sense of big kidness that we all have, and that's why I love them to bits. Let's do a thing. I don't know where I put the decals. I don't know what I can touch now and what I can't touch. Red alert, not blue alert. I'm sure it was blue alert because he says I changed the... I don't know, I could be wrong. It's been like 10 years since I've seen it. What about rocket pants? I see no problem with rocket pants. I know that's a Red Dwarf reference, I just can't recall it. Bearing in mind, like I say, apart from the latest series that came out the other year, I haven't watched old Red Dwarf for like about 10 years, I don't know. If Tony was here. Raging Basis says, okay, Airfix and Revell offer you a sponsorship. You have to choose one. My choice is I would go off and become a nun. I don't know, actually. With that choice, I'd probably choose Revell. I know some of you are gasping right now. Purely because of the kind of kits they make. As in the subjects of the kits. They do a lot more sci-fi stuff, and I'm not exclusively sci-fi, but I don't just want to make planes and tanks and things like that, so I'm not a big planes guy. So I'd probably go for Revell. And I'll say, you know, a lot of you kind of rib me sometimes for ribbing on Revell quite a lot, and I do whinge about them, and I don't deny this, but it's like I've explained before. The thing with Revell is, I'm not just going to say, I don't just say outright every Revell kit is crap, don't buy them. Revell do some good kits, don't get me wrong. It's just that for every good Revell kit, they do one that's complete and utter gash because they just haven't made the effort. And unfortunately, it does tend to be a lot of the licensed stuff. And then things like with the Star Wars license, they tend to focus on the kids market. For the easy fit kits, that's not straight. Duh! And things. But I know Revell can make a good kit if they turn their mind to it. It's just more often than not, they don't. And what we're left with is just gash. Like the Halo ones. You know, Revell can do some quite good car and plane kits. So when they announced those Halo kits, I'm like, oh, okay, that could be cool. Nobody else makes model kits for Halo. I'm looking forward to that. I saw the prototypes and they look quite mint. And then you see them and they're like, they look alright. They're a simple build and that's fine. They look quite detailed, but they've got these really crappy stickers and there's like, oh really? It's a toy that you build then, isn't it? And it was like, oh dear. So again, they just kind of, they went for the money in the children's market. Bearing in mind that, you know, people that play Halo tend to be over like, you know, 7. So it just annoyed me. It annoys me sometimes that a company that can put their mind to good kits tends to churn out a lot of just nonsense that's of no interest to anyone or just not very good. And when they do good stuff, sometimes it's like reboxes. The Colonial Viper and the Battlestar Galactica stuff, they're Mobius kits reboxed. The Master Series Star Wars stuff, they're Fine Molds kits reboxed. But they do good stuff, so, you know, their big forte is things like cars and trucks and planes. And they do good stuff. It's just, unfortunately, more often than not, they don't. And I know you can make a Revell kit look really great, but frankly, I really can't be bothered making the effort. My philosophy is if a company can't be bothered making a kit that's high quality, I can't really be bothered putting the effort in to make it look high quality. Right, so that is those done. They are quite prone, these cartograph decals, they're really thin. They are quite prone to silvering, even with Microset and Microsol, so like that one's silvering a bit there, so do keep your eye open if you're making this kit. They are prone to silverage, which will disappear once I've weathered it and matte varnished it, but yeah. So I need to leave that for I'll go over with some Microsol. Give it a blow. You don't want to do any more? What do you reckon? Should I put some more on? More on. I don't want to go too overboard, but I do. Let's just go overboard, shall we? Screw it, let's go overboard. So yes, I don't know. I'd probably choose Revell, because they do have good stuff in their library, and there's more variation. Again, Airfix are the same. They tend to do a lot of... So, yeah, Airfix's current kits are actually really, really good. But what they have is a massive back catalogue that goes back 40 or 50 years, and a lot of that, by today's standards, is just absolute pap. But they still troll it out as their little 5 or 6 quid kits. So... Vincent's in. Hey, Vincent. Mr. Loath's Model Making. There's another channel you guys should check out. A lot of the old Revell kits are Matchbox kits. Yes. TK, what beer are you drinking? TK says Revell beer. Rody Hobby says, had a Halo kit in my hand today, but the force was not strong enough and it stayed in the shop. You know what my solution is, and I'll show you. Now, it's going to be covered in dust. My solution is get the toys that came out when Halo 2 came out, that Bungie was selling on their website. I can't remember who makes them. I bet Hot Toys, I'm not sure. Who is it? Joyride, or whatever they're called. They brought out a load of toys. I'm going to repaint that at some point. I've got a Ghost. I've got a couple of Warthogs. Nope. I've got a Halo 1 and a Halo 2 Warthog. I've got a Brute from Halo 3. I've got a couple of Master Chiefs, the Halo 1 Master Chief and the Halo 3 Master Chief. And I've got an Elite, big Elite. They're about this big. So, yeah, I'll just get them and repaint them. What was I doing? Oh, yes. What's the chat saying? I will buy words. Rat Pack 30. I will buy Airfix if it's something I can't find in other brands, though I know if I get Airfix I will have issues, as a lot of the parts are crap compared to other brands. Part of the frustration, I think, and it's not just, you know, Revell and Airfix, there are other ones out there, but part of the frustration is that in a world now, in a world where he was a cop, in a world now where you've got companies like Tamiya and Tacom and Dragon doing incredible stuff, and Tamiya have been making good quality kits for like 40 years. It's frustrating when you see a company come along who just half-ass it and they just don't make the effort. It's annoying because you know there's a potential for good quality and they're just not making the effort, and that's frustrating. Where do I want to put this now? I'm going to waste half a decal here, but never mind. And that's what frustrates me. I know there's always, you know, different price brands and you get what you pay for, and there's always a place for the cheap and cheerful, but yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. Moving, dragging. We'll do it on camera. I'm kind of looking at it and not doing it on camera for you guys. Hi all, sorry, been masking some tiny X-Wing guns. Guns even, says Chris. Any questions from anyone? Throw me questions that I may answer with my entire speaking face. Oh, in fact, yeah, just tell us what you're working on. I know a couple of you already have. Tell us what you're working on. Ask me anything. It doesn't have to be about model making. You can ask me any question you want. I may decline to answer certain questions, obviously. Right, I think we've probably got enough on here. I'm hoping that with weathering, these will all kind of blend together a bit and fade into each other and not look like little decals I've stuck on hither and yon. Might do. Actually, I'll just break that what I've just said and I'll do something. What I might do. I know what I'll do. 3 blue ones. You watch now, I'll suddenly find somewhere I need to put all these and I'll be like, oh. Chris says 144 Poe X-Wing. Vincent says it's another one of those though. R2-D2 the Falcon and now this not available for your country. What's not available for your country, Vincent? What else do I do apart from model making, wine making, says Philip Rhodes. I don't do wine making. I don't like wine. Wine's just rubbish. Give me beer. And if it's beer, give me ale, not fizzy lager crap. Apart from this, I love my video games, and I also do the drawing. I did for about 5 years, I did an online comic strip before I got back into model making. Because this is my revisiting my childhood thing, model making. And I haven't done a lot of drawing or anything lately. Although I did do that speed drawing with the Uniposca pens. But yeah, my other passion is drawing. Cartoony stuff. I can't draw people at all. I can't draw humans to save my life. But I can draw silly animal type human people. Silly animal people. Well, I can. I can put them together. So that's what I used to do. I would link you to my old comic strip, but I can't do that on my iPad because my iPad's 100 years old, dead slow. And I'll be there for half an hour. See how that decal's folded there at the back? I don't know if it'll come out. Folded under itself. So it's got like a slightly... It won't be in focus, but it's got a slightly darker strip now at the top because it folded on itself. That's fine. Just looks like a darker strip. Now this may all look a bit ramshackle and haphazard, but what I'm hoping is once the spine goes over it, it'll kind of all blend together. So yeah, drawing was a hobby. It was my passion before I got back into model making. I've done model making since I was a kid and then stopped for about 20 years. That now means it's not the same length as the other one. God damn it! See if I can rescue this. Hang on. Can I rescue this? Oh, potentially. Potentially, I might be able to pull this off. Hang on. Yes! He shoots, he scores. Look at that. I managed to resolve that decal's foldage. Get in. So, model making, drawing. What else do I do? I love me for some video games. Although not that much, not as often as I can. That's about it, really. Hobbies wise, nothing too exciting. I did for many years. I also composed music. I had where this model making setup is now. I actually had a little sort of miniature recording studio setup. I was a synth player. So I had a load of synthesizers, various ages. I had a recording setup, so I had a mixer, I had a effects setup. I used a hard drive recording system, which in the early 1990s when I got it was like cutting edge. I also had an old reel-to-reel 8-track, not 8-track like you get in a car, but the 8-track like a reel-to-reel tape recorder with 8 tracks of audio. And I used to record music. And not all of it, but a lot of the music I use in my videos, for example the theme tune, I wrote myself, which is how I can make sure I don't get any copyright strikes on YouTube, because I wrote it and composed it and it's my copyright. So haha, don't give me a copyright strike, bro. But with the music, the inspiration was there for about... I'd done it for many years and then it kind of faded away and the inspiration died and then I kind of ran out of ideas. I used to do electronica in the style of Jean-Michel Jarre. That was my big thing. But then I started listening to more orchestral music and that changed the way I thought about writing music. It started making me want to record more orchestral stuff. But then I got stuck in the trap of making my synthesizers sound like actual instruments, and that was just a downward spiral then, because it was never going to happen to my own satisfaction. I was never happy with it because the technology wasn't there then, and then I got disillusioned and then the ideas started fading away and I forgot. I kind of unlearned how to write electronica, so it all kind of faded away, and in the end I sold all my keyboards and equipment and set up this little workstation here instead. And I do miss having all my synths, but after they'd sat there for about 2.5-3 years without even being turned on, I thought, yeah, I need to just trash them now and actually use this space for something better. Not quite straight, but it'll do. Right, I've forgotten the chat now. Where are we? Thunderbird 2 Diagostini, says Vincent. Oh yeah, it's huge, that thing. By Diagostini. Try and get past part 6. That's my advice. Philip Rhodes. Haven't made a kit in years. Just find watching others make kits very therapeutic. Oh yeah. It is actually quite fascinating. What is Ant Bashing Kits making for e-models? You'll find out when he posts the videos up. All I'll tell you, that's not straight. It's going to bug me now, but it's fine. All I'll tell you is it is 1/144th scale, obviously. Rat Pack, don't get me wrong, Airfix has some very nice looking kits, but it's some of the parts that aren't the correct size, moulded properly and such, and they use that weird squishy plastic as well. Again, it depends on the age with Airfix. Some of the new stuff is actually really, really good, despite having weird soft plastic. But if you go back 10, 15 years or older, they start to get worse. I've told the story many times of how I went into Hobbycraft to get some, I think, rattle can primer. Saw a picture of the Junkers JU52 that I remember making as a kid. Bought it. Turns out it was a different kit, but it was their 1/72nd one. It was only £7. So I thought, I'll buy that. It was only £7. Got it home, opened the box. What I was confronted with was a 45-year-old tooling that was so bad, I just closed the box and then took the parts and cut them off the sprues and put them in my spares box for bits. The canopy, clear plastic canopy, was actually so fogged and frosted you couldn't see through it. And I was like, wow, it's just absolute gash. So, but that's because it was a 45-year-old tooling, so... Fox Ted should say, slap it on. Rat Pack 30. Revell aren't too bad. Tamiya are def the best in my opinion, but as I maybe said, different brands have different things that others don't do, so it's all gravy. I'll build it anyway. Yeah, Tamiya have been around for a long time. They have lost the edge somewhat with new companies that have come in like Dragon and Tacom and things like and Meng, who've started to give them some competition for a long time. If you wanted your armoured vehicles, Tamiya was the go-to brand for your tanks and AFVs. They've kind of lost that title a little bit now with other companies. Other companies came in and started doing stuff like photo etch parts as standard. And Tamiya were a little slow to pick up on that. They now do it, so they're getting it back. But yeah, Tamiya, Meng and Tacom are kind of your three big boys out there. Where did you find the decals? Wasn't aware they're available. Greg's Workshop. Decals for... what? For this? For this Eagle, it comes with them. This is the special edition version, so you get the bog standard kit decals, which are like some of the markings and all the black bits for the pods and things like that, and you also get a second sheet of very, very nice cartograph decals with millions of shapes and dots and circles and things. Roadie Hobby, didn't you say? Don't say you were in a band. No, I can't read and write music, and I was never taught to play. I just used to sit there and make stuff up, and if it sounded good, I used to add on more tracks, and I just made stuff up. I can't read and write music, and I can't perform. I can't play piano or anything like that. Yes, Vincent says his came with the kit. It's because he's building the special edition. It is. Special edition has this bit on the outside of the box, which has all the extra markings for all the extra decals. The sheet is, if I can get it out without trashing my entire desk, it's all cut up, but it's like you get a whole sheet of. Well, that might be the default. I think those are the default kit decals. There's more here. I've kind of hacked them around a lot now, but the extra ones kind of have things like I don't know if I can't remember. Oh yeah, these are some of the extra ones. You get things like if you do a display base, you can stick them on there. Lots of dots and lines and circles, and lots of these little. There's lots of little shapes for the panels that go all over the command module. I'll show you that in a minute. So you do get a ton of extra decals. There's millions of them. But it's a special edition kit, which is 200 and something quid, give or take. Hey Fox from Korea. Hey Jax, how you doing? I know it's not Jax, I just pronounce it Jax. Jax, sure. How's life in Korea, JS? Jax? I'll say Jax. How is life up there? A bit stressful right now at the moment, I would imagine, potentially. Mr. Love's model making. Fox JU88 by Revell, first model I ever built myself. Almost ran back to doing my HO train stuff. Yeah. Who's your favourite non-main Red Dwarf character? I Talkie Toaster, who is mine. I've got to try and remember all the. It's been 10 or 15 years since I watched that stuff. I don't know. I can't remember. maybe I'd say the same. Talkie Toaster. I was about to say SBS, but he was the hamster in the Young Ones, so that's completely wrong. Series. To me, a Meng Dragon. Vincent says, "To me, a Meng Dragon Tacom Trumpeter. If you want a specific, maybe obscure piece of armor, one of them will have it. Dragon, for example, does the best Porsche Tiger 1 prototype out there." Jay, I kept calling him Jax. He says, "Jay, please, dude." You're also in caps, by the way. You might want to turn your caps lock off. What was I saying? Yes, Meng Dragon and that lot. They do tend to do a lot more niche things. Tamiya tends to play it safe and stick to the things that would be popular. But then they're a bigger company, so they have to play it safe. Hang on. Coffee time. Ooh, that's good. Now, the trick is, I've got to remember which decals I put on in the last hour. Not going to happen. Korea is good, starting to get colder. How cold does it get in Korea? Because in the back of your mind, you always think, oh, it's near the equator. It's not really. It's nowhere near the. It's not. It's probably just as temperate as we are. But how cold are your winters in this is North Korea then? Jesus, in Korea, how cold are the winters? That's the wrong brush completely. Because you think of it as somewhere almost tropical, but it's not. It's temperate. Right, I can't even find that other brush now. I'm totally all at sea. Just put that off to one side. Where is my other brush? I don't know. It's gone away. I don't know where it is. Oh, darn. Right. Put some of this on. I can't remember which is which now, so I'm just going to do them all. Handy tip for you, if you do microset and microsol, try and keep it to just over the decal and just over the edge. Don't just put it all over the model because it can eat away at your gloss coat a little bit. Potentially. It doesn't always, but it might do. And then if you do like a gunk wash or a wash afterwards, if it has eaten away some of the gloss coat, like if I did a blob there, you'd get a big brown tide mark where your wash went. And you wouldn't know that until you'd actually done it. And put the wash on, you'd be like, oh, sad face. So, yeah, just try and stick to the decal and go over the edge a little bit just so you can try and get some to suck underneath the decal. The advantage is you can now look on YouTube how the model is looking, build, and how it is built, so you can buy it. Yep, pretty much. I often say to people who want to make, model making YouTube channels, and I give various bits of advice, but the one thing I often say to them is there's only two reasons somebody will go online and look on YouTube for a model making video. One is to find out about a specific kit, like is it any good? Or are there any issues with that kit, And two is to find out how to do a thing. So tailor your content accordingly. It's the only two reasons somebody will go online to look at nobody would sit and watch somebody making a model unless they wanted to know how to do it. So you get people that do like, I'm going to make this model, and then they just give you like 5 minute super fast speed, triple speed thing with some crappy dance music on it, and they don't tell you anything. They don't teach you anything. And it's like, so why did I just spend 10 minutes watching your video? What did I gain from that? So I often say to people, if you're going to make content around this particular hobby, assume you've got to do it as an educational thing, because the only reasons that people are going to want to see it is to find out how to do it, or is the kit any good. So these kind of montage ones, I try and avoid them as much as I can, because they don't teach you anything and nobody's going to sit and watch that. Unless of course it's like a vlog, you're just giving commentary on the hobby, in which case that's fine. Jay says cooler was a brutal summer. Yeah, our summer was rubbish. It was just like we had a few days in June and a little bit in July where it was nice and sunny. I had all these plans to like sit out in the garden and do painting and stuff and do some Warhammers and things on my days off and stuff. I was like, I'll be dead, just sit in the garden, nice glass of a cool drink on the little garden table, get all my stuff out there and do some paint. No. Basically, aside from a few days in June, it was just rain, all the time, non-stop, endlessly. It was not a great summer. And I had planned to, when I painted this, I had planned to rattle can it outside, prime it and paint it. And I even got all the rattle cans of paint from my good friends at eModels to do that, and it never happened. Who's sending me emails now? Ooh. So that never happened, so I've got a load of cans of rattle can paint that I should probably give back to eModels because I never used them. I might do that. When I take this back to them when it's finished, I might take those rattle cans back with me and say, there you go guys, I didn't use these in the end, so you can have them back, stick them back in stock. No point me having them. Jay, thanks very much for coming in. Brief visit, but thank you anyway. SPG, that was the hamster in the young ones. Yes, not SBS. Doesn't the Korean Peninsula have its own microclimate? He snowboards in Korea, bearing in mind we have the Winter Olympics in February. I simply enjoy watching people make kits wood turning videos too. Yeah, I mean there's a rare number of people who can actually make just the art of doing it interesting. And I'll tell you, if you want to just watch mesmerising videos, and I mean truly mesmerising videos, hunt around on YouTube for like any video that features a Japanese traditional craftsman. It could be somebody doing woodblock prints. They could be making pottery. They could be making, katanas. There's loads of them. And a lot of times, they're not filmed as ASMR videos, but they're filmed in such a way that they're dead quiet. Because there's one where it's a guy making some woodblock prints. He's reproducing some old woodblock prints, some classics. And it's mostly just him kind of going with his little tools and scraping away and chipping at things. Oh, it's so mesmerising. You just sit and watch that for hours. Right, so that's done. Put that to one side. To the side you go. What have we got? Vince says, yes, continue the tank transporter video series soon. Was planning on doing one for the tank, but the bench kind of looked like a plastic vehicle workshop that had blown up. Yeah. Plasmo is an exception though. He fast forwards, but you can still get a good sense of what he's doing. I've not seen his stuff. Go-to guy for Edward kits or plain kits is that you plan on upgrading with Edward photo etch parts. Yep, true. They're very good for Edward stuff. And one thing, Ted, when me and Ted do the live stream, try and get him to say Edward as much as possible, because he can't pronounce it. He can't pronounce it at all. He really can't. He can't pronounce Vallejo either. I always take the mickey out of him and do it on the live stream for giggles. He can't pronounce Vallejo and he can't pronounce Edward. I like taking the mickey out of him. I rib him mercilessly. Vincent TK says the summer was pretty okay over there. No, it wasn't, TK. There was carnage and death with your summer in the shrimp arena of the thing. Everybody was... There was just... not genocide. There was just like mass deaths. Shrimp gate occurred. And you couldn't go upstairs for like 4 weeks. Polishing a katana, I can watch that for hours. Oh yeah. It's just when people do film like Japanese craftsmen, they're always filmed in this way that's really quiet. Right, see you in a minute, bassist. I shall show you the command module. Hang on. Hang on. I've only got 2 hands. So I've done the pods. So I've got all the pods done. And these aren't finished yet, because there's lots more little fiddly detail decals to go on. Like these little markings and things. Little bits here. There's a few more I've got to put on there, but they're pretty much done. These are decals. On the command module, these are decals, the black parts. But it looks pretty mint. I'm quite pleased with the blue and grey shading, which I'm hoping... I've got to figure out how to weather this, but I think it looks pretty mint. Now, the thing I will say is the decals for the black parts, so the anti-glare parts here, and these bits underneath, you can see they're a bit lumpy-bumpy. Hopefully it comes out on camera. I don't know if it'll come out on camera. Let me see if I can get it in the light for you. You might see a bit there. I've got to kind of look at my computer screen and factor in a time delay. You might see there a little bit lumpy-bumpy. Or on here, that one is particularly egregious if you get that light right on that. See there, it's lumpy-bumpy. Now that's the underneath, so it's not so bad. It's not the end of the world. I actually sanded those areas flat smooth. Made sure they were smooth as babies, but they just, because the ones that come, standard ones that come in the kit are thicker, they just seem to do that, and I don't know what it is. It's not air bubbles, because I've tried pricking them with pins and nothing gets rid of them. It's not stuff on the model. They're just a bit lumpy bumpy because they're really thick, but they do look good. They won't be shiny when it's finished, they'll be matte. Now the one thing I did learn, if you're making this kit, these ones you have to overlap them a little bit, so you will get a bit of a gap here around the edge, but that's fine, doesn't really matter. These ones do not fit. They're too big for the space you've got to put them in, so you will have to trim them down a little bit. Just shave a little tiny bit off each end, and you should get it right. It took me a couple of goes to get it right, so some of them, which one have I got? Some of them I didn't quite get it right, so there's like a gap there, so I can fill that in with paint later. But you will need to trim those. But once it's matte varnished and once it's weathered, hopefully the little lumpy bumpy bits, you won't see it because it won't be shiny. It's only because it's shiny you can see them. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I think it looks mint. The cartograph ones, I've said this a couple of times now, but they really do feel, I reckon if I was to mask off and paint that, it would be thicker than that decal. I reckon a layer of airbrush paint would actually be thicker than that decal. I think they're thinner than a layer of paint. So I'm adoring them. Absolutely adoring them. And I've only lost, I think, about 2 or 3 decals. I lost one that goes... I think there's one that goes here or somewhere. I've lost that one. It got lost to the god of crinkliness. Right, what's chat doing? King of Hearts. I'm very fond of machining videos. I watched a video of a Japanese guy making fountain pens. That involves some machining. Vincent says he spent 3 hours adding spark leads and oil feed pipes to the Kawanishi plane. Anyone else working on a model while listening to this? Asks Phil Lewis. I am. Rody says it's the same like Foxx and Tonio doing their weathering. It looks easy, but if you're doing it for the first time, you are sweating a lot. That's kind of... It's kind of the whole point of why... And I can't speak for Tony, but I assume it's the same. But it's the kind of whole point of why I do this. Is because... And it was the same with drawing. Before I started doing the model making, I used to do a lot of drawing. And I'd post them up online. And I did the comic strip and stuff. And people would say, how do I draw like that? How can I do that? And what I'll do is, I'll finish this conversation when I've just gone for a quick wee. So, give me a second. I'll mute the microphone. And I'll put on the holding picture. Back in a second. It's better. Sorry about that. So, what was I talking about? Yes, so when I was doing lots of drawing, and doing the comic strip, and so people said, I wish I could draw like that. And my response was always, you can. My firm belief is that, and I say this in my Who is Model Making Guru video on the channel, anyone can do what I do. Anyone can do this. Anyone in the world. All you need to do is know what to use and how to use it. That's it. There's no secret sauce, and a lot of times, from my point of view, in my opinion, the stuff that I do is not particularly complicated or scary or hard, but to somebody who doesn't know what it is or hasn't done it before, it can look really complicated and terrifying. Like decals. A lot of people really sweat cobs over decals. They're not that hard. Once you've done them and you know what you're doing, it's all right. And my real goal is to say to people, you can do this. You can do what I do. And I've seen people who follow me start off doing their first kits and have a lot of room for improvement, and not long later they're making stuff better than me. Banned. So, not really. So, there are, you know, a lot of aspects of model making that look like dark magic to the uninitiated, but that's why I do what I do. Try and say to you, it's not as hard as you think it is. And it was the same with drawing. I used to say, you can draw, you just don't know it yet because you haven't practiced. So, there you go. What's the chat doing? Why not paint the black panels, says Philip Rhodes, because that would be a ball ache to mask off the curve. And I didn't want to. The black is actually fine. It's just that one that's gone lumpy bumpy. The rest are all fine, and once they're matte varnish and stuff, they'll look okay. It's just that one that went lumpy bumpy. But I really couldn't be doing masking that off, because the one thing I don't want to do is pull off the masking from the windows, taking the masking off from here. And same reason why I didn't mask off these colour panels. The decals are actually really good, so. But if there's decals that let me do the same thing, I'll do the decals, because part of me is lazy. And I didn't want to try and get that curve, because that curve just looks like yeah. I mean, I've got, you know, fine line tape and stuff, but nah. Jeff Longman, I'm working on the model that shall not be named. Yeah, don't mention the D'Agostini Falcon. Oh, I'm assuming it's that. I love Jordan Nash. I love finding videos of building just about anything. The guys at Tested always make entertaining videos. They do. Although I've got to tell you, I do miss the days when it was Will and Norm. I do miss those days, like when they had the, you know, the Star Wars Lego builds with the Death Star and the Super Star Destroyer and things like that. I miss Will on Tested quite a lot. You know, I love Adam and I love Norm and I love the stuff they do, but I do miss Will. There's a video gone up on their channel, actually. It's their latest podcast. This is only a test, but it's got Will in it. I'll tell you who I do miss from Tested. Gary Witter. When he was in the podcast, that was hilarious. I used to really love that podcast. I really miss Gary Witter. They occasionally have him on when he's not dead busy. I miss Gary and Will together. Those were the good days. Only Fox could lose against a puppet. Yes, I would. Adam's great. He only sucks at one thing, and that's wearing a proper respirator, constantly working with lacquers without even the most basic mask on. He did actually mention that in one of the videos once. He was saying, people have told me off for not wearing a mask, he says, but we've got like a super duper industrial extraction system in the workshop. Still, you should still wear a mask, even so. Because he's there spraying his cans of stuff. But hey, he's been doing it for 40 years, so yes. And it's also filming. If you're doing a presentation to camera and you're wearing a mask, it's not that great. So there's probably that consideration as well. But yes, you're right, you should wear a respirator, regardless of how big his extraction system is. Let's have a look. Fox, you ever watch Will's live streams? He plays PUBG with Gary Witter a lot. Oh, has he got his own channel? Or is that just him on the... Because he went off to do virtual reality stuff, didn't he? And I've forgotten what it's called now. Or is that just his own channel? I didn't know. He plays PUBG. Oh, him and Gary Witter. I have to watch that. More coffee. Hang on. Oh, that's good. Good coffee, that. If you're going to have coffee, make it in the biggest possible cup. Roadie Hobby. Therefore, I love the Boom Hut. Everyone loves everyone's work and everyone is helping. Oh, he's on Twitch. I'll have to check him out. Yeah, I have to say I'm really proud of the Boom Hut. All the members in the Boom Hut. The idea was we wanted to set up a group that was free from rivet counting and snarking and bitching and negativity. I didn't want to create somewhere where everybody just says, wow, that's brilliant, you're all brilliant, this is brilliant, you're great, I'm great, he's great, we're all fine here, now, thank you, how are you? I didn't want to create that like a forum full of yes men, because that's just empty and pointless. But I wanted to create an environment where people can say, if you know somebody can post their first ever model that might look terrible, let's be honest, but nobody's going to say it looks terrible. Instead of saying, wow, your model looks crap and putting them off the hobby forever, they'll actually just give them support and advice and tell them, brilliant, yes, first ever one, it's a really good effort. Have you thought about? Have you ever considered? Here's a handy tip, that kind of thing. And that's what I love about the Boom Hut. It's that. It's not negativity. And because the thing that I hate is when somebody new to the hobby comes along, posts up something they've just built, and it's their first ever thing, and they're proud of it. They know it's not perfect, but they're proud of the work they've done. And somebody comes along and says, that's rubbish. Because that just puts them off. Let's be honest here, our hobby, for a lot of people, is a kind of a hobby of introverts. Not everybody, but there's a lot of us out there who are, you know, introverted personality-wise. Somebody comes along and says, yeah, it's crap, just give up. It's going to put them off and close that avenue of happiness to them. So that annoys me, so that's what I've tried to avoid in the boom hut. And that's what the boom huts come out like. So I'm loving it. You're all nutters, basically. You're all nutters like me. And that's why I love it. Be warned, Will is a foul-mouthed savage on his streams. Will's a foul-mouthed savage anyway. And that's why I like Will. They have swearing on the... They used to have swearing on This Is Only a Test. Because my big thing for many years, podcast-wise, when I was working, was Giant Bomb. And This Is Only a Test. For years. Until Will left, I kind of dropped off listening to This Is Only a Test because it just lacked Will. And then Gary stopped going, and it was like, so I've not really listened to it. I let I was subscribed to them, but I had to let that lapse over the last couple of years. Philip Rose, the what hut? The boom hut. You know what the boom hut is, don't you? I'm sure you do. I shall put a thing in the chat. Hang on. Now it takes me forever to type on this iPad because it's an iPad 2, so it's 100 years old. I don't think anyone else can type links in the chat apart from me, so I'll have to do it. Hang on, I'm typing now. Ugh. This is going to take a while. Hang on. You know what? Actually, no, screw that. What I'll do is I'll do it on the computer. Give me a second. Oh, this iPad is so slow. Delete, 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 delete. Yeah, iPad 2 in the days of iOS 11 or whatever on now. It's not good. Let me put a link in. It means I'm away from the camera for a second. I'll keep singing so you know it's not just a frozen picture. Pictures not frozen. Where are we? I'm sure you know what the boom hut is. If it'll let me post a link on my own. Oh yes, it does. Yay! There you go, that's the boom hut. Right, what are we doing? Where are we? Found myself streams. I'm just reading the chat now. That's why I was nervous about posting my Gundam, but Fox liked it, so it was all good. That's the thing. We've all started out having no skills whatsoever and not knowing what we're doing and finding it all really scary. We all started at that point. It's like learning to drive. People that get stuck behind learner drivers and shout and scream. We all had to learn at some point. At some point we didn't know what we were doing and we were learning. That's the whole point. So the best way to treat someone who is new to a hobby or an activity and is learning is to encourage them and give them support, not tell them the crap. Because of course they're not. You've been doing it for 20 years. Of course somebody who's been doing it for a day isn't going to be as good as you, but you don't need to tell them that. Thing about the boom hut is there's no ego. I don't post a lot because it takes me a while to paint my miniatures, but I love interacting with everyone. Yeah, I like to think of it as a family. It's just more of a family. I gave up on kits when Airfix started to separate the red from the other colours in the RAF roundels, and they stopped making Airfix paint. Humbrol matte paint always ended up satin or gloss. I've not used that much Humbrol paint, to be honest. I did try Humbrol gloss. It was rubbish. I just threw it away. It just never dried. It was sticky all the time. Well, I'll put these away. TK says, got like an hour of lag on this stream, lol. Yeah, it's YouTube for you. I might be streaming at like 1080p, I don't know. That's probably a bad idea. Can somebody tell me how long we've been going, by the way? Because I don't know how long the stream's been going. I'm just putting my bits away, hang on. Ow. Ow. Banged into my cabinet. That was clever. see, you get me injured live on telly. It's brilliant. I'm not injured. I just bonked my cabinet. Yes, how long's this stream been going? How long have we done? What else can I stick a decal on that's just silly and fun? I don't want to do anything too serious that I need to pay attention to, which was why I was doing that thing. Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Let's get some of these. Where are we? Doo-doo-doo. Is it just the Netherlands that's getting bad lag? Because you guys always get bad lag. You seem to like the worst ISPs in the world. Blah, 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 blah. Let's do a thing. Jeff is timing. I will do... Right, I've lost my space helmet of seeing now. There it is. On the decals, you actually get little keypads. I don't know if it'll come out on camera. Little keypads for the door for the module. Now I've got all the little coloured shapes done. I can do those. Let's get the scissors. Where are the scissors? 90 minutes. Okay. Well, I'll get these couple of decals done, then we'll probably call it quits for there, because it's been a good hour and a half. I've got to get ready for tonight's Destiny live stream. Before I came on air, I went on and created my Titan. I've got a Warlock and a Hunter. But what we wanted to do was, we said, well, what we do is do a live stream. But because the way strikes work in Destiny is crap now. On the old game, I don't know which way around these things go now. On the Destiny 1, you could pick strikes out of a playlist. But on this one now, it's just, you go in and it's random. Oh, TK's on his phone, that's why he's got an hour of lag. Do you know, honestly, we've told you about that, TK. Yeah, Destiny 1, you could pick a strike. Destiny 2, you go into a random playlist and it just picks one at random, and that means you do like the inverted spire 3 times and then the other one with the big scary dude at the end. It's like, I don't want to, there's no point streaming if I'm going to play the same strike twice. It's just boring. So what we decided we'd do was just do the campaign. So we've all built our third character. Hang on, make sure my light's bright. We've all built a third alt, or second alt. Mine's a Titan. And we'll just go through the campaign. We won't do the cutscenes, because there's no way we can sit there quietly for 10 minutes while we do the cutscenes. It's just not going to happen. So we'll just skip through the cutscenes. But there will still be spoilers. But we're doing that tonight at 8:30 on the Twitch channel. I've posted it up in the Boom Hut on the Model Making Guru Facebook page, and also Twitter and Patreon. But it's twitch.com/ I can't remember what the URL is now. What's the URL? MMG Shenanigans, I think. Hang on. Let me find it. I shall put it in the chat for you. I think it's MMG Shenanigans. Do. twitch.tv/MMG Shenanigans. Nice and easy to spell. Obviously not. I had to make it as hard to spell as possible. Right, how are these two doing? So yeah, we'll be streaming that tonight. I don't know how much we'll do, probably a couple of hours. No, I need something to move these around with. That little keypad, little number pads for the doors is great. Get off. Well, now the other... Oh, hello. Hello. Don't get screwed up. These aren't the cartograph ones. These are the standard kit decals. So these are thicker and shiny. So they're less likely to get curled up. Okay, what's happening in the chat? Chris says he has his Hunter ready to go. Jolly good. I think you're stuck with Golden Gun at the start there, Chris, after you've gone to the farm. The Night Stalker with the bow is actually a bit more fun. Golden Gun's fine, it's just so underpowered. It's just gash. Because I was Golden Gun all the way in Destiny 1. I said Halo 1 then. And then I tried the Night Stalker with the bow and arrow. I was like, oh, it's much better. But I don't like the fact now I can only do either void anchors or multiple shots. I haven't got the choice of doing both. That sucks. Just get that little panel on there, nice and straight, you'll see. There's too much water. I get the feeling I was in the middle of saying something a minute ago and then never finished it. If I did, do let me know what I was talking about. Because I can't remember. That's not going to line up. That's being awkward, this one. Come on. There we go. Much better. That's that one on. And that one. Yeah, that's good to go. King of Hearts 00. I don't own Destiny 2 yet. Well, yeah, spoilers. If you don't want the story to be spoiled, even though we're not going to show the cutscenes. And it's kind of a downside. It means, hey, if you've not played it yet, don't watch the stream. We don't really want to do that, but if you care about the story or any of the surprises, then yeah, maybe best not watch, eh? Where's it? There it is. Micro set. Not that you'll hear much dialogue from the NPCs, because we'll be talking and joking over it anyway. But the thing about the Destiny 2 streams is, you know, we don't get many viewers for them. It's not like they're super popular or anything. But it's just a case of, the three of us will be playing anyway. We may as well stream it while we're doing it. It's not taking me away from... some people have said, you know, stop doing things like Destiny streams, do more model making videos. It's like, you do know I actually don't do models 24 hours a day. There are other things I have interest in and other things I need to do. So I figured, well, you know, it's not taking time away from model making because it's time I would have been doing that anyway. Let's do one more. What's the chat doing? Right, got to go, sort some stuff. Catch you later for Destiny. Okay, see you later, Chris. Thanks for coming in. Do. So TK is on mobile and on Wi-Fi. That's probably why you've got hella lag, dude. I don't know. I'm watching this on my 1998 Casio calculator watch, and the lag is terrible. Yeah, there you go. Now it's time for door handles. Door handles. These need to go like that. Cool. Tiny little fellas for the door handles. We'll get these on. I think we'll call it a day there when we've done those. So any questions or anything? Any conversations? Anything you want to talk about while we're doing these last bits? Oh, coffee. I hope this hasn't been too boring. I hope it's been a relatively interesting couple of hours. I wasn't sure whether to do it, but I thought I'm going to be doing decals. I'll be sat here twiddling my thumbs bored doing it, so may as well have a chat with you chaps while I'm here. Chaps and chapesses. Spend some time with you guys. I remember the first one I did of these, I got about 3 people. That was about 3 views while I was doing it. That was stressful. There's like 2 people in the chat, and one of them was probably TK. I'm like, oh, do I want to do one of them again? But I knew you guys would turn up. Doodle-doo. Time is it? 4:15. Yes, need to go and have me tea and some other bits and bobs, and then get ready for tonight's stream. So yeah, do come along and watch the stream. You can watch it on Twitch itself. Then you can join in the chat. If you're one of my patrons, there is a link on the Patreon page. You can watch it there. But if you want to join in the chat, then go along to the Twitch page itself. Wait, no, I got that wrong. I'm talking about this, wasn't I? No, yeah, go along to the link in the post if you're on Patreon. And you can join in the chat. And I swear, if Chris pushes me off something again, Well, if he does, I'll just be sad, basically. He seems to be addicted to pushing me off things. Philip Rose says, not boring, never boring. Oh, I could be boring, trust me. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not boring. Let's get that lined up. Little door handle, you see. It's quite sweet. Now, the trick is with these decals that, like I said at the start, you get basically two sets of instructions. You get the stuff that comes on the sides of the box for the bog standard default kit decals that you get in the standard edition. And then on the little sort of thing that goes around the box, you get the extra stuff for the extra decals. But they kind of mix and match. So obviously they've made two different models, one with the special edition decals and one with the bog standard decals and one with special edition decals as well, but the person that's made it hasn't used all the bog standard decals, so it's a bit confusing as to what you need to do and where. So you kind of have to juggle between the sides of the box and the sash that goes around the box. Right. That's made a door happen. Did I just unstraighten that? Yes. Yes. Arse. Get you straight. There we go. You get it straight and then it floats about in the water like a little git. There we go. That's you one. And also, that's you one. You one Greyjoy. There's a name. There's a Game of Thrones style name. The same with practicing bass, Fox. In the few years I'll start teaching bass. After I do my greys, that's the plan anyway. Yeah, do it. If you stream it, they will come. Yeah. One thing I never got, right? Somebody, if any of you actually do this, let me know. What's the big thing about drum videos? Like people that just play drums on YouTube. It's literally a video of them just playing drums. And sometimes I can understand if they're playing drums and they've got music behind them. Although the problem then is that they get pulled for copyright. The video gets muted or pulled. But some of them are just people just playing drums. There's no music in the background. And they're not doing it as a teaching thing. They're just sat there playing drums. It's like, why would you do that? I don't know. See? I love the little button pad for the door entry. 'Tis done. It's looking good, that. I think we'll probably not do any more of the little panelly decals. I'll see what it's like when it's got the frame around it. You never know, it might look alright, it might look terrible. Where's my little corner pieces? There they are. So I'll put those on. There you go, got a little space house now. Space house. Oh god, what was that program called that I just sang then? Star Force. Who remembers Star Force? The Japanese kind of anime but with puppets. The bad guys' ships look like wasps. Star Force. The good guy's ship looked like a really fat pregnant X-Wing with a broken nose. So that's going to do it, I think, for panelling on the box. Looks like digital camo or some kind of 1980s dinner table cloth type thing. That one isn't straight and that's going to bug me now, but it's too late because it's set in place. God damn it. Now I would show you this with the spine over it, but what I realised when I tried to put this together loosely, the tight fit between this and the spine and the pods at either side is it scrapes the paint. So I don't want to be putting this into place until it's finally assembled and goes into place permanently and gets screwed in. So yeah, I can't show you that in situ with the spine over it. Yeah, Raging Bassist says, I have no idea. No. Star Force. How did that fly come in? That's the girlfriend. Did it say you less on the workbench? What fly? What fly? Where? What fly? What? You've lost me. I see no fly. So, cool. So yes, on this now, I've just got to basically knock that off. That's what I've got to do. There's nothing more to do on here now apart from get a gloss coat on, get it weathered, and then get the windows in. And I say I'll probably just use some Citadel primer, black primer on those because it's got a nice kind of satin look to it. Glue them in, done. after I've got the final matte coat over the top, if I need one. I don't know if I'll need one yet. Now, the big trick with this is I've not figured out how I'm going to weather it. I've got some plans, but I don't know whether to go for... They are on the moon, and basically all the weathering will be in shades of dark grey, because look at an astronaut when he's been walking around on the moon, he comes back with dark grey all over him. Or they've been on the moon, but also to some other planet, so we can do more traditional weathering. Or... they're on the moon, but they've got limited resources, so although they can use the resources on the moon to make new parts, they're not going to waste water by cleaning it, so it might get quite dirty. Or, look at the space shuttle when it comes back from a trip into space. It looks battered. It's dirty, grubby, it's got scorching everywhere, it's got grime and dirt. I'll probably just do a load of weathering on it and come up with the story for it. It's the best way to do it. Let's have a look. How did that fly come in? Haha, I think it must have been hiding in the paint booth because it looked drowsy and didn't even bother to fly away. Oh, Mike, you've come in right at the end. Oh, I feel so bad now. Hi, Mike. Mike Mountain just come in. And we're just doing a bit of wrapping up. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Sorry, you've caught us right at the end. You've not missed much. I've waffled for 2 hours and stuck some squares on me thing. I need to go over that with some micro sol later. So yeah, I'm not fully figured out the weathering yet. I don't know. I mean, I can't use lots of earthy tones because I know they go on to other planets. But I don't know. We'll figure something out. I'll come up with the backstory. The odd panel decal would bug me. That one. That one. Yeah. There's another one where... where's the other one? There's another one. I was saying in the latest video, the next part 8 should be up in the next few days on my channel, but... no matter how hard you work, there's always one decal that will be off whack, like that one. It's just not quite straight, but you only ever discover it when it's too damn late and you're like, oh! So there's a couple of those. There's not much I can do about it. I mean, the framework will cover that up anyway, so... Oh, they just got a new one in there, but don't forget they're in the middle of nowhere, though, Rhodey. They're out in space, they can't make new ones. They apparently have a lot of them, because Alan Carter crashes them all the time. But apparently the story goes that they can use all the resources on the moon to create new parts and repair them. But I don't think they're gonna wash them much. So I'm gonna go off possibly the ethos that look at the space shuttle when it comes back from a quick jaunt up to the ISS and back. It looks filthy. There you go. And also there was a picture of the Dragon. Is it Dragon? The SpaceX launch vehicle, the rocket that goes off and comes down again. They showed a photograph of it. And it was basically white and shiny, but the bit where the rockets are, to halfway up, was black because of all the blowback. And if you think this thing's got thrusters underneath it, lands, and all the stuff kicking up, I think I can get away with quite a lot of weathering, I think. Do a poll in the boom hut, says Raging Bassist. It'll be options will be... the options will be, how much do I weather this? A lot, or a lot? It's me. I don't do minimal. Yes, unfortunately, Mike, you've just caught us at the end because I'm about to go off and make me tea, have something to eat. On the other thing I will be trying on this kit, keep your eye open, not in part 8. Part 8 will be all the painting and the decals, and that should be up, like I say, in the next few days. I have got myself some gloss black primer from UMP and some some of the, God, you can't read it, Vallejo acrylic metal colour duraluminium, the one that Ant can't pronounce. Nobody can pronounce it. It's duraluminium. Everyone's like, duralanium. No, it's just duraluminium. I've got some of that for the thrusters. I don't know how shiny it's going to be. I was going to use the C1 Metalizer at first, but I figured that might not be quite right. So I'm going to try this, see what it looks like for the thrusters and for the... I might use C1 for the shiny parts on the feet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this though. Just gloss black primer with that on top of it. So instead of doing a primer and then a gloss black paint and then this, I'll just do gloss black primer. Apparently this is really, really good. Saves me doing 2 things and I can do 1 thing. Also, I hate spraying gloss black. It comes out crap every time. Right, what's happening in chat? Mike says, looking really great, Fox. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. I saw the gift you sent to Smoo. It's sweet. I love your gifts, Mike. That was very nice of you. Fox, carbon deposits, that's the key. Yes, so that means I can use Starship Filth. Yes. I was thinking really of doing a very thin wash of Starship Filth just to get it in all the recesses. and then I need to find some way of I'll use something like this, airbrushed engine grime or something like that, streaking grime, for some of the black bits where the thrusters are, around the thrusters and inside the thrusters, and then some other bits. I don't think we'll go the whole hog of streaking, but we'll figure it out. Carbon from the rockets and carbon from atmospheric re-entry because massive friction. So basically what you're saying is paint the entire underside black. I can work with that. I can work with that. Durelamin is also acceptable, even that's the original brand name for the alloy. But every time I watch someone talk about this paint, they call it duralanium. I don't know where they get duralanium from. It's just duraluminium or duralumin. It's like it's aluminum or aluminium, depending on where you are. So I don't know where they get alanium from. Never mind. Never mind. Are you directly try on the thrusters or be first or something else? I don't understand your question, Rowdy. What do you mean? Are you directly going to try it on the thrusters or be first on something? Oh, we see what you mean. Am I going to try this out on the thrusters? Yeah, I should try it on some spoons. I'm not. You know I'm just going to try it on the thing. I don't do that. I'm far too lazy. I'll just be like, I wonder what this paint's like. It looks terrible. Brilliant. So I might try it on some spoons. I don't know. It was very rare when I did the Master Chief's visor and I did all the tests on the spoons. That's like one of the very few times I've done the spoons. Vincent says, the reason I know this, learning the hard way, when you try to weld a cracked hub on a bike, it won't weld because of that stuff. The single hardest type of aluminium to try and weld up. Yeah. I mean, I was just looking for something nice and shiny, really, because the actual filming model is turned aluminium that the thrusters are made of, and you can get a metal aluminium turned aluminium thruster set for this, but they cost like 150 quid, and I don't want to ask e-model to send me that. I wouldn't pay for it, but it's not really worth it. I don't think they've actually got it in stock. But so I looked at some of the different colours. I watched Phil Flory do his test of all these colours to see what the different colours were. And this one kind of looked shiny and silver. The chrome one didn't look that shiny, and the aluminium ones looked alright. So I thought I'll try the duraluminium. It looks kind of silvery and shiny. I don't know how grainy it is though. We'll see. We'll see. If it all goes wrong, I can strip it off and I can just use C1 Metalizer. We'll see how that goes. Right, but I think that's going to do us, guys and gals. Anything else? I think that's going to do us. Thank you so much for watching, as always. There's a live stream tonight, Destiny live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/mmg shenanigans. Don't forget that. Mike Mounty says, got a cold. No, I mentioned earlier on in the stream, whenever I start a camera, I instantly get the sniffly nose and the cough. I don't know why. I don't know why it happens. Whenever I turn the camera on, bing, it sounds like I've got a cold. So I do apologise. Yeah, so we've got the Destiny live stream tonight for the three of you that'll probably watch, but that's fine. Then don't forget, Ted and I have got the E-Models live stream tomorrow, Mondays, 9 o'clock, where shenanigans will ensue. We may do giveaways, we don't know. And then we're hoping for a treehouse potentially next Saturday. Next Saturday, we're still trying to figure out getting everyone together. We were going to do one this weekend, yesterday, but we just couldn't get our schedules organised. Bearing in mind that, you know, we're all over the world. We've got Adam in the US, TK in the Netherlands, we've got Will in New Zealand, we've got Ted who lives in space, apparently. It's just quite hard to get us all together in one spot at the same time, and everybody's got commitments and things, like families and things. Just sell the family. Nobody needs the family. So we're hoping to get one done this Saturday, because it will be Chris's first ever one, hoping he can come in. We would be normally doing a Patreon after hours stream this time. However, we're going to break with that a bit. We're going to do a normal, regular, open to everybody Treehouse Club podcast, because it's Chris's first time. But then what we're going to try and do is do them more frequently, maybe once every couple of weeks. So it probably won't happen, you know what we're like, but we're going to try, because that way then we'll get the Patreon and non-Patreon going round in a nice regular circle, because there's too long between podcasts as a month. Right, so I'm going to bugger off. But thank you all for watching. Apologies, Mike, that you came in right at the end. Sad face. Sorry about that. Love you, though. Do take care of yourselves. I've got to go and find the off button now. But thank you so much for watching. If you're making this, good luck. Set aside a week to do all the decals. And the episode 8 should be up hopefully in the next few days. It's gone up on e-models. I just need to wait for that to be there for a while, and then I can put it on my channel. So keep an eye on my channel. This should be up for episode 8. And as soon as the decals are done, the glint gloss varnished, I can start filming episode 9, which is the weathering. So until next time, I'm just gonna. I shouldn't have done that. That's cleared my nose. Right. Take care of yourselves, guys. Until next time, go be awesome. Go do something awesome. Adios, amoebas. I've got to find the button now. Where's the...